my distinguished scholars and my distinguished colleagues, my topic today is confessed about the Ṭabarī statement. Before that I misunderstood the Ṭabarī and I based my presentation today to correct and to excuse from Ṭabarī about this type of misunderstanding. Ṭabarī is excluding of al-Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa from the scope of Mutashābihāt. As I said before, Ṭabarī accepted that Mutashābihāt cannot be understood. From other hand, I suppose Ṭabarī said, Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa min al-Mutashābihāt. At the end, Ṭabarī is presenting more than 25 different opinions, meanings about the Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa. This means that for me at the time, clear, mutually exclusive and contradictions. But after that, I understood that I misunderstood Ṭabarī's statements. That is, first, a quick reminder of al-Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa. 29 surah, as we know, in the Qur'an, Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa, starting with Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa and different types of, and 14 letters, apart from the repeating letters we can find in the Qur'an. Easily, we can say that is. And reached roughly to 30 in the first 3 centuries. Meanings I found, I could find in the books roughly 30 different meanings. And these meanings being repeated in the tafsir literature in general. The exemplary meanings like this, they are the names of God, or they are names of Qur'an, or Alif Lam Mim. Alif is indicating to Allah, and Lam indicating to Jibreel, and Mim indicating to Prophet Muhammad. Like this, but from the point of the sources, there is a consistency with the other tafsir narrations, reports. This means that the most of these narrations related to the Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa from the first 3 centuries of Islam are going back to the successor areas. And less than these 2 companion areas, and a few one we can find prophetic narrations about them. And about the Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa, unique additions in Shia sources, as we can expect it, the Imamat, Mahdism, Karbala incident, easily, after accepting these all nearly 30 different meanings, Shia added the Imamat, al-Mahdism, Karbala incident to this meaning in terms of meaning, yeah. And the second half of the first volume of the Futuhat al-Makkiyya, Ibn Arabi, and the first part of the second volume devoted to the word of the letters. As we can expect, we can find many mystical approach and tendencies and explanations about Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa. As for the constant curiosity in the Western scholarship, yes, that's true. The famous one, Nördecke's approach. As according to the Nördecke, these letters are the pseudonym of the Mus'haf owners among the companions. After that, many Western scholars criticized and put the new one, but in generally, today we know Nördecke's approach is dominating and affecting the after Western scholars. By the way, Bellami's article is summarizing very well the Western scholarship approach about Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa. And result of inconclusive treatment, what? The mainstream of the Muslim land now. حروف مقطعة from متشابهات, their meanings cannot be known, but from the other side, great scholars, راسخون, have the right, authority, ability, and perhaps responsibility for this treatment. They have right to say something about them. Yes, but according to the Ṭabarī, al-Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa from muhkamat, not from mutashabihat. So the scholars of the first 3 centuries had different opinions about the meaning of Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa, as they disagreed on the meaning of many other muhkam verses. The result cannot change, but the perspective and looking at Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa, Ṭabarī and mainstream of the Muslims are a little bit different. According to the Ṭabarī, muhkamat is divided in 2 parts. One cannot need something to be understood, but the other one, muhkamat, can be understood by the attempts of the scholars. This means that we can find many different approaches about the muhkamat verses, and we have today Ṭabarī's tafsir. This type of thinking is complying with the Ṭabarī's practical methods in his tafsir. And according to the Ṭabarī, the famous verse about it, وَمَا يَعْلَمُ تَأْوِيلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهُ, Ṭabarī is stopping here. This means that وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ يَقُولُونَ آمَنَّا بِهِ cannot understand mutashabihat. Ṭabarī's opinion can be summarized like this. Well, 3 lines is explaining وَزَعَمَ. This means that Ṭabarī is not agree with them. Some scholars and many scholars after Ṭabarī, and according to me, in Muslim world, they are stopping here. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ تَأْوِيلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهُ, but the knowledge and acceptance is the difference. They are accepting, the Muslims now, وَمَا يَعْلَمُ تَأْوِيلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ. This means that mutashabih can be known by Allah and great scholars. Yes. In general, Ṭabarī tries to cite the reports peculiar to a certain al-Ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa type when it occurs for the first time in the order of the Mus'haf. For example, Hamim. At the beginning of the Surah Al-Mu'min Al-Ghafir, Ṭabarī is narrating the relevant narrations, reports to the Hamim. But after that, following the second Surah, Fussilat, Ṭabarī is referring to the beginning of the Surah Mu'min Al-Ghafir. Ṭabarī's style is like this, but in generally, Ṭabarī many times is referring to the beginning of the chapter of Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim. Yes, how did I misunderstand Ṭabarī's statements before? Like this. وَذَلِكَ وَمَا أَشْبَهَهُ, that is Ṭabarī's statement. هو المعنى الذي طلبت اليهود معرفته في مدة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأمته من قبل قوله ألف لام ميم وألف لام ميم صاد وألف لام را وألف لام ميم را ونحو ذلك من الحروف المقطعة المتشابهات. I suppose متشابهات صفة, adjective for حروف, because mufrad and singular differentiations easily, frequently can be known, can be seen in the makhtutat. But essentially, that is not true. متشابهات مفعول مقدر فعل هنا. That is, طلبت اليهود معرفة المتشابهات خلال الحروف المقطعة. That is the misunderstanding. After that, the other statements of Ṭabarī supported and became witness for my misunderstanding, I confess. The second one, in the long quotation below, I have read some of the opinions quoted from an anonymous group of scholars as if they belong to Ṭabarī. Ṭabarī is narrating وَقَالُوا until وَهَذَا قَوْلُ ذِكْرٍ. This place, Ṭabarī is narrating the opinions of others. I suppose from the small comments here, that is, starting the Ṭabarī's opinion, لأنهن متشابهات في الألفاظ. لا, that is not true. Ṭabarī is narrating and going on. وقالوا إنما سمى الله من أي كتاب إلى آخره. وطبري starting وهذا قول ذكر عن جابر. Evaluation of Ṭabarī starting at the end. That is the second misunderstanding. But Ṭabarī is deserving to be criticized on something. What is that? Ṭabarī tolerates all of these approach on the basis of the homonymic words in the Quran. There is no relation between the homonymic words and the ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa. Why? As Ibn Kathir said, there is no relation between them because homonymy can be used to explain the different meanings of a word in different sentences with different contexts. But according to the narrations we are finding Ṭabarī's tafsir at the beginning of Surah, for example, Baqarah, at the same context, at the same place, Ṭabarī is narrating 25 different meanings. There is no relation between types of defending and Ṭabarī's practical attitude. And Ibn Kathir is criticizing the Ṭabarī at this point. He's right. Ibn Kathir book, tafsir book, we are finding it. In addition, Ṭabarī is giving an example. For example, he says, like the word ummah and the word deen. A lot of meanings in the Quran. This means that ḥurūf al-Muqaṭṭaʿa has a lot of meanings in the Quran. But ummah and deen have different meaning, but where? In different statements, in different contexts, in different verses. There is no relation between this type of defending and the position of the homonymy. Probably this can be defending with the dictionary style. Now we are finding one word, for example, in dictionary. After that, without any examples, we can find many different meanings. But homonymy cannot be used to explain the different meanings of a word in different sentences. Yes, that is the last thing probably. I want to say something. In edited books, many times one comma, one dot, one column, one semicolon are leading us, non-Arab academics, to the wrong way. Very important thing. Probably one of the most important thing, edition of our classical books now. For me, editor must take a precaution to prevent the reader or academic from misunderstanding if that is the edited books. And lastly, kindly, politely, I request from my distinguished Arab scholars, please don't touch to our classical book or do your job better. Did you understand what I mean? Because one comma, one dot is leading the wrong way. After that, we are establishing something on this misunderstanding, and that is becoming widely and widely. Many times I am having experienced this type of issue. And lastly, I want to say something. Thanks to this presentation and thanks to the program, my new prospective title of the article appears. What is that? On comprehension errors that can be caused by different edited publication of Ṭabarī commentary. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for this lecture, Professor Akif Koç, and thank you for communicating your misunderstandings that openly or at all. It's nice to see you dealing with it this way, and I guess there is some discussion going on afterwards, especially about the last part of the presentation. Our last, but not at all least speaker today is Professor Dr. Johanna Pink. She studied and received her PhD from the University of Bonn. She worked as a postdoc, researcher and lecturer at the University of Tübingen and the Free University of Berlin, and became a visiting professor at these two universities. Furthermore, she received a Heisenberg Fellowship from the German Research Foundation AIWG. Since 2012, she holds the Professorship of Islamic Studies and History of Islam at the University of Freiburg. Professor Pink is currently the PI of the research group working to the project GLOCUR, the Global Qur'an, which we heard already, I think, yesterday about. Furthermore, she is the general editor of the Encyclopedia of the Qur'an online. Her most recent monograph is entitled Muslim Quranic Interpretation Today, 2019, I guess, right? Her main fields of interest are the transregional history of tafsir in the modern period and Quran translations, with a particular focus on transregional dynamics. Today she's going to lecture on the topic Tafsir and Historical Contextualization, Sira, Asbab al-Nuzul, and Modern Ambivalences. The stage is yours, Professor Pink.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to move forward a bit and talk mostly about my area of specialization, which is the modern period, tafsir in the modern period, and relating to the topic of this panel, which I've been asked to contribute to. I'm going to present a few thoughts on